How you doing, everybody? It's Tuesday the 13th of April 2010. A beautiful day outside here in Ireland, and I've been away for a while. I had to go and sort out some personal matters, which took a couple of days, and then I decided it'd be a good idea to go and have a break, because where I was very beautiful. I'd never been in that part of the world before. I was when I was a little boy, but I don't remember much of it, and I'm glad I did it. Spent about a week away up in Sligo, in that general area. Very haunting, very beautiful, and I highly recommend it to anyone who gets a chance. Very peaceful, and just give me an opportunity to have a serious think to myself. So I've come back and I've basically in harness, and I want to say lots of things, but and I've put links up to three articles, and I want you to look at them. The first article is from the Central Statistics Office, and it's the thing that I use all the time, which is their external debt little sequence. You know, it's a series that they publish 4 times a year, and it tells you exactly where our country's going, what direction it's going in, and as you can see, it doesn't make pleasant reading. As I say, I put the link up to it, and I only want to deal with one. There's another aspect that I want to deal with later on in another video posting, but I only want to deal with one aspect of it today, and it's related to these 2 newspaper articles. And the 2 newspaper articles talk about our indebtedness, and you can see from the Central Statistics Office their little chart. You can see the external debt, and it's from the 31st of December 2009, and the one that we're interested in today is just the general government debt, and you can see that from over a period of 9 months it's gone up from 62 billion up to 75 billion. And at the end of this year, which is 2010, that 75 billion was on the 31st of December 2009, and at the end of this year, on the 31st of December in 2010, we will have borrowed between another 22 billion and another 24 billion on the international markets. So that'll take that up effectively to 100 billion. It'll be 99 or 98 billion. That's what it's going to be, and that does not include the NAMA money, and the NAMA money is going to be another 54 billion. So the real figure will be over 150 billion. All right, and these 2 articles tell us how much it's going to cost to service this debt. And the first one is from Sunday Independent, and it tells you that servicing the debt will cost us more than our health service. That's not this year, but in a year or two's time it will. Okay, it's still a colossal amount of money we're talking about here. We're talking about every year for 150 billion, you're talking about having to cough up probably around about 6 or 7 billion, or just to service the debt. It's not to pay it back, it's to service the interest. Okay. And then the final thing is from today's Independent, and it's one of the leading articles, and it tells you that the bank bailout will cost us around about 73 billion. So that's what they're estimating. Okay, so all these figures are fascinating, and just to put the whole thing into perspective, no one is raising about the issue that what this we must never forget what this is. This is a transference of private debt belonging to banks been transferred to the public purse, and that's not me speaking, that's Stiglitz, the Nobel laureate, speaking. Okay, Joseph Stiglitz. Okay, so remember, it's private debt belonging to a group of 6 banks here in Ireland, and it's been transferred to us, to the public purse. 73 billion. Okay, and it's probably not over, it's probably not finished at that. Okay, now why do they need that debt? You have to go back to me. Why do they need that debt? The debt is not to lend people money for businesses and all. No. It's to pay the bondholders of the banks, because every year they have to pay off the bondholders, because the bonds have notes, what are called notes attached to them. They're interest notes. They have to be paid, and then as each interest as each what would they call it, each bond issuance comes to maturity, it either has to be rolled over, or the bank has to have the money to buy it back. There's only two options. The person that owns the bond will roll it over, or they'll demand their money. That's the two options. But they still have to be paid. Either the interest has to be paid or the capital sum has to be paid. Because these are all short-term loans. These bonds are all issued over 5 and 10 years, 7 years and 3-year bonds. They're all short-term bonds. That's what they are. That's what they are. None of these are long-term bonds. So what's fascinating is this debt has been given to us and our children and our grandchildren. 73 billion. But nobody has told us who these bondholders are. We've got 6 institutions, private institutions in this country, and we've been told you have to give these private institutions 73 billion. That's what we're liable for. We don't know what way the NAMA thing is going to work out. It could be less than that, or it could be a lot more than that. But let's say it doesn't matter. Let's say it's 70 billion at the end of the day. This is a colossal amount of money. And nobody's raising who are the bondholders. Now, is there any possibility that many of these bondholders are tax exiles from Ireland, Irish tax exiles who don't pay any money here, who don't make any contribution to Irish society, and we're being asked to bail them out? Now, the only way we can find that out is if we go to Dáil and someone senior in one of the opposition parties, like the like of Kenny or the like of somebody from the Labour Party like this woman Burton, raises this in Dáil and demands that we know, because in that article this morning in the Independent it tells you that we should have a national balance sheet, but the balance sheet will not tell us who we owe this money to. Because this is all getting so muddy and so messy. This is getting really, really unbelievable stuff. We are being put into a corner and we're being raped slowly. This isn't a Roman Catholic Church, a real quick job, raping children. No, no, no. We're going to be raped over a prolonged period financially by our government at the behest of these bondholders. Now, I as one want to know who these bondholders are. Who is this 73 billion euros going to? Some of it will be used to shore up the balance sheets of the banks, but the bulk of it is going off to pay off bondholders. Who are these bondholders? It's a simple question, but we're in Ireland and it's 2010, and the likelihood of finding that out is probably zero unless we get a whistleblower who gets us that information, and the chances of that are pretty slender as well. But got to keep at it. There's no other. It's just a simple question. Who are the bondholders? You're telling us we have all this indebtedness. Who do we owe the money to? Who are the people we owe this private debt to? Because that's what it is. Private debt. Don't want to go on about it. That's the question. We've lots of other things to deal with. We'll talk later. Okay. Bye.